It takes a little time initially, so don't stress out if it doesn't work the first time, because it probably won't. But it's tiny little changes. It's like literally for him, I think he was at like a 6% here, and we got him up to like almost a 30 by changing like 4 words and like just little tiny tweaks that aren't that big a deal. And so it's just tweaking things, simplifying things until it works. And as soon as it works, then you got something now you can, like you talked about, now you can scale something through paid ads because it's not costing you any money.
Now, that brings us to the second half of this process, right? Where the business owner typically creates all this. We're the ones who are creating the product. We're the ones used to writing the messaging to the customers. And we'll get into this later, but with your software, someone like myself who has zero technical expertise can set up all of these pages in literally a couple minutes, just kind of drag and drop type format. And once you've got all this created, awesome. It still leaves the second half of the puzzle, which is traffic. And leaves the second half of the puzzle, which is traffic. And myself specifically, setting up a traffic campaign requires a completely different side of the brain, where this is usually very creative based, where traffic campaigns are very analytical engineering, my campaigns are very analytical engineering, So for me, I just don't get it and I don't enjoy doing it. So the good news is, if you focus on this and you create a funnel that converts at a decent rate, you can hand that off to an entirely different set of people who do nothing but specialize in traffic. But in order for them to do that successfully, they need a funnel that converts, because if you hand them a piece of crap that doesn't, there's nothing they can do about it, right? So you don't have to worry about the traffic side. So many people buy into the whole, man, all I need is traffic to build a business, and that's absolutely completely false. All you need is an offer that converts. Because if you get that, you can hand it off to dozens of people who can send you all of the traffic you could ever want. But they have to be able to do it at a profitable number. So
I had one friend who he had a couple like okay offers throughout a couple years, and he had one that for whatever reason like just converted like crazy. And he knew a big product launch or anything. He sent some traffic at work. He told some other people, and they sent traffic, and within like 8 months, he made over $10 million on just one offer that converted. So 100% agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this sounds great, Russell. Right? This sounds great. Easier said than done. So what is the key to building out a funnel that actually converts?
Cool. So the first thing I would say is, if you think about it, like for people especially that are getting started, like there's a lot to it, right? But the cool thing about it is there's people like you and me, and there's other ones like us in almost every market who have been doing this for a long time, who are obsessed with it, who have just done a whole bunch of things. And whenever I start talking about funnels, the first thing I tell people, and I learned this from Tony Robbins initially. I'm sure you guys have all heard it before. He says if you want to be successful in life, all you got to do is find other people who are already successful and model them. And so and I think back in my life, like things I've been successful with. Like I was a wrestler growing up, and when I first got started, I wasn't a good wrestler. I was bad. And I remember going to my first tournament and getting beat up really bad. And my dad was wrestling. He's like, "Wow, like you're really not very good." And so we stayed the rest of the tournament, watched the finals. My dad recorded everyone in the finals and watched what they were doing. And he's like, "Well, these are the best right now. They're in the finals." So we went back home and we'd go and he'd put it on TV and we'd watch these moves, and me and him would practice them in our front yard, and we just model what the successful people were doing. And in a very short period of time, I went from being a bad wrestler, being a state champ, being an All-American, getting a college scholarship. And it was just by looking at people who were always a level ahead of me and looking at what they were doing and modeling them and learning what they were doing, and then that became a skill that I had. And same thing was in business. I don't know about you, I didn't have a business degree. I just got online. I was like, I need some money. I looked around, and there are all these people making money. And I was like, okay, what are they doing and why are they doing it? And I started modeling them as close as I could. And the same thing is true with the sales funnel. I remember every time I share stuff with this with people, you always get people who are like, well, I think I had a better way to do it, or I got a different, there's something else I can do, or a better way to do it. And I always laugh. There's a quote that somebody told me one time. It said, you can always tell who the pioneers are because they're laying face down in the ground with arrows in their back, right? They're the ones that are running and trying. And the first time I think I ever got this, I was at a Dan Kennedy event, and there's like 1,200 people in the room. I'm the little kid in the back with my little notepad taking notes. And there was this guy, Porter Stansberry, was on stage. And Porter works for a company called Agora Publishing. They do, I don't know, half $1 billion a year.
Yeah, Stansberry does, so Stansberry Research does around 300 a year. No, I'm sorry. Porter was on the Self-Made Man podcast, so you guys can go check it out. Cool. He was actually the very first episode. So I think they do around 150 to 200.
Just Stansberry, right?
Yes.
And he's part of Agora. Do you know Agora?
Agora probably does 300.
Okay, so big company, right? And he's on stage talking, and he's walking through their sales funnels. And I'm just like, I can't believe he's showing these things. So I'm like mapping it out and drawing everything. And he's talking a mile a minute, and all of a sudden he stops. And he said, you know what's interesting? He said, every year people see what we're doing over here at Stansberry, and they want to compete with us. And he says they come in, and first thing they always try to do is they try to undercut us. Like, oh, well, they're charging this, we're going to charge this, and we'll just beat them that way. He says that they drop their costs here, but then they can't profitably acquire customers, and it doesn't work. So then like, okay, that didn't work, we're going to try something else. So they always try all these different ways to beat us. He says, dude, we're we work with Agora Publishing. We have 100 people who sit in an office all day long and just split test everything you can dream of. We have the best copywriters on earth writing copy. He's like, the only way to compete with Agora Publishing, you can't try to like outthink us, you just got to copy us. And I remember seeing that, I had this like light bulb, and I was like, you think about it, like they're doing all this stuff, and I can go try to reinvent the wheel, or I can just like walk and see like where they're at right now. I go right there and I start from right there, and we model what they're doing. And when I got that principle from him, I started going back, and when I would go into a market, my first step wasn't like, okay, what should I create? What should I build? It was like, who's already built the structure? Who's already figured out this market? Who's figured out what they buy and how they buy and the price points they're willing to pay? And I got to figure those things out. And so I'll kind of give you a real quick illustration, but it's true for me in every business we go into now is that the first step, and we call it, in our community, we call it funnel hacking. That's kind of the term, but it's all about figuring out, finding people that have already been successful with it and then modeling what they're doing. And so, probably the best case study is when we launched a business, probably 4 years ago now, and it was a supplement business. I always wanted to do a supplement. I didn't know what to do, and somebody told me that the diabetic neuropathy market was a good one. I didn't know anything about diabetic neuropathy. I just knew that the market was good, and so I went out there and we created a supplement that would we kind of market there. And then I had the supplement sitting in a warehouse. And I'm like, okay, how do we sell this thing? I was like, I don't know how these people think. Like, I don't even know anyone that has diabetic neuropathy. And so I started looking out there. I'm like, well, someone else has got to figure this out. We did some research, and eventually found this company that had a website selling a very similar supplement. They were doing well. We did some research, and we found out, I think at the time they were doing about 100 grand a month or so. So it was $1 million a year business. And I was like, okay, these guys have proven it. And I remember going to their page, and it was like, it was the ugliest website. There was no pictures. It was all purple. It had like, if you look at the page structure, like, it was like there was the logo here, there was a phone number right here, and then there was like a headline, there's a picture of the product, and then just this long sales letter, and then like an order button. I remember looking and thinking like, it was the worst looking site I'd ever seen, and I was like, I'm a marketing guy, like I can make something better. And so we actually, initially I made something that I thought would be better. We started driving traffic, and it didn't work, and I was like,
we just talked about this before we started filming today for the society actually, and I was telling Russell, I was like, we made this amazing 3-minute sizzle trailer that looked phenomenal, this beautiful long form sales letter with all of this amazing graphic, design, and we split tested that against the original sales letter, which was 30 minutes long, with no text, with no graphic design numbers, just a video with a button below it. And the pretty one that we spent 2 months building out converted at half the rate of the ugly one.
Oh, it's crazy.
And that's, I would say, happens 9 times out of 10, is the ugly thing always works better.
It's weird.
I don't know why, it just does. Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, so I went back and I was like, all right, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. So we went and made a site very similar. Now, I want to say I didn't copy anything. There's an ethical way and an unethical way. So I didn't copy the text, anything, but we modeled the layout. It's funny, like when we do our split tests, typically like almost all of our split test results, we don't change many of the words on the page, just structure and layout and things like that. So we just modeled the layout as close as we could. And we took that and we launched it, and almost overnight, our little website was making about 20 grand a month. And I was like, but they had figured out that market, people with diabetic neuropathy, they're not into flashy videos, they're into long form sales letters that are boring, that don't seem too scammy or hypey, whatever. Like, that's what these people responded to. And so that was our first test. And then I was trying to figure out, like, well, what else are these guys doing? Like I can see this, but it's kind of like the whole like tip of the iceberg analogy. Like, you see the iceberg, like there's got to be something else happening that you don't really see. And so I did what I think every good entrepreneur's got to become good at doing. Like, I pulled my wallet out of my pocket and I bought their product. I got to see what's happening behind it. Now, unfortunately for me and for these guys, they didn't, like, that was it. They just had this thing. They'd been running it for like 10 years. That's how they built it. They're recurring and doing well, but they weren't doing really good. So I was like, there's got to be someone in this market who's a sophisticated marketer who's been doing this for a long time. And so I started doing some research, and eventually I found, he's become a really close friend. His name's Ed O'Keefe. He had a funnel that was doing, at their peak, about $3 million a month. And I was like, okay, that's like $36 million a year on supplement. Like, he's got something figured out. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out. So I went and I funnel hacked him. And so I went to the site, and his pages was different, and everything was like, the whole structure was different than I'd ever had thought. I never in like a million split tests would ever came to this concept. But he had a video sales letter, ugly as can be, like you said, with an add to cart button. You clicked on the button, it took you to this big form right here, and then you could buy like 1 bottle, or you could buy 3 bottles, or you could buy 4 bottles. So you select how many bottles you wanted, and you put in your credit card. And then the weirdest thing so I went and I bought 4 bottles, because I was like, okay, let's see what he's doing. And the next page, he had an upsell, and he upsold 6 more bottles of the exact same thing that I just bought. And I was just like, dude, does he think I'm a drug addict? Like, that's 10 bottles of it. Like, I don't even, like, and I remember thinking, in my head, thinking like, he's an idiot. Like, what, like, why wouldn't you logically sell the next thing? Something that made more sense, right? And in my head, as I was sketching out my future funnel, I totally discounted it for a while. And then luckily for me, I was like, you know what? He's making $3 million a month right now. He's probably, I would assume he's got some arrows in his back. Instead of me like taking those same arrows, I'm just going to assume that he's tested this and let's see what works. So he had 6 bottles here, and then he had another upsell for.
Don't tell me 6 more bottles.
Yeah, 50 bottles. Now this one's like a new supplement, so it's a new supplement of something, and then he had something like that, right? It was basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. These 5 pages make him $3 million a month. And so after I bought it, I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna assume that he has been going on this path. He's got arrows in his back. I don't want those arrows. So I'm just gonna look at this, and this will become my starting point. So just like right now, actually, we sketched it out on a whiteboard like this, and I showed my team, I'm like, this is what we need to create. This is how we're going to sell. This is what the price points are going to be. The page is going to be video with the button. It's going to have, and we modeled it as close as we could. Now he was in a different market than me, so we didn't compete, but structurally wise, this is how he did it. So we mapped that out. We went back to the drawing board. And we created a video that modeled his. Again, we modeled it. We didn't copy. It was my own sales letter. It wasn't, but we modeled the layout and the process and the price points. We did that whole thing. We launched it, and this little funnel went from making $20,000 a month to almost $20,000 a day. And it did that consistently until we sold the company a few years later. And that's the power of modeling. And so the biggest thing I say, because people always ask me, what funnel should I use? I'm like, that's where you got to do your homework. Like, what market are you in? Like, where are your dream customers at? Then who's already selling to those customers? Like, there's no way that you're the first person with this idea. I wouldn't assume. Maybe. But for the most part, you're coming in and there's other people already selling to those people. That people like us who are obsessed with this, who are doing this all day. Like, I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking about these kind of things. And you're probably not. You probably don't care about it that much. But know that there's people like me who that's all we do. And so come and find out where we left off and just pick up from there. And so it might be a webinar funnel, might be a tripwire funnel, it might be whatever. But see what's already working and then use that as your starting point.
And something that I want to bring up, because most people don't get this. Like, I've helped a few close friends from college or life who want to start a little business selling a book or whatever it may be. And they can't wrap their head around the fact that they don't need a big web page, homepage, like that you would normally see in a normal business. They don't have a blog, or like they think they need these things. And I'm like, no, I don't have a fancy homepage for the business. I don't have a blog for any of this stuff. Like, it's literally just the pages that are necessary to send traffic to that will cause the creation of a customer and a purchase. And over time, I've built a homepage for my name personally because people want to know more about me. I have a blog now through Self-Made Man that's just designed to be an archive to send people to go listen to those episodes. Neither of those pages are marketed anywhere at any time to anyone. They just exist for people who are curious and type my name in Google who want to find out more. But we don't send traffic to it. We don't sell via any of them. They are completely and totally unnecessary to do that, 100%. Which most people don't get. Like, we've made for me, $50-60 million over the last 10 years, and never once having pages like that have been any critical piece of my business. So
some of you guys, it's probably like this big mind blow, just like, because that's reality, is that you need a homepage, you need a blog, all those kind of things, but those things look nice, they make you feel good.
I need to have a social media following of like, people ask me, it's like, Mike, why do you have 25, 30,000 fans on Facebook? Like, when all of these other people have hundreds of thousands, and I'm like, because it doesn't make me any money. And it
people randomly found me. I don't really care.
It's totally unnecessary. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's interesting. I had a friend the other day who I was having this conversation with, and he's asking me, I kind of explain. He's like, so you can help my business? I'm like, well, it depends. Like, what's more important? You like a really good-looking website, or you want a website that's going to make you money? And he honestly told me, he's like, I'd rather have a really good-looking website. Right. I was like, I can't help you, like, because you can't, like, a really good-looking website is not going to help you serve more people. Like, business for me is all about how do we serve the most people at the highest level, and it's all about this. It's taking people through a process so that you can profitably get them as customers. My first mentor, Dan Kennedy, used to say, like, the company who can spend the most money to acquire a customer always wins. Like, it doesn't matter how good your product is or your service. The only thing that really matters in getting new people in is how good your funnel is. Like, that's the most important. Because if I can spend $30, $40 to give away my book for free, and all the other authors are making $2 on royalties and they can't spend it, like, I can win. Like, it doesn't matter if my book sucks. Luckily, I think I wrote a good book, but it doesn't matter. Like, what matters is this piece, because this is what profitably gets customers into your business. It's what also ascends people up. Because I move people from one funnel to the next, and we get them to ascend up, spend more money, and it's the most important thing that you can focus on in your business.
So, 2 or 3 years ago, you basically saw this as, hey, this is the solution, this is what we've been doing for 10 years, this is what I've been doing, it's what works. It's not super easy to set up. You do need some tech expertise. So you went through this typical process and you're like, hey, let's create a software platform that'll do all of this in minutes in what used to take weeks or months. So dive into that real quick and tell people how they can go check out ClickFunnels.
Yeah, so the last actual funnel we built was this supplement funnel by hand. Me and 8 guys who all we did full time for our entire lives to build funnels. Took us 3 months to get this thing built and launched. Like 3 months. Like we had supplements sitting in a warehouse, gathering dust, expiration dates getting closer and closer because we couldn't figure out it took us that long. And after we launched this, I remember sitting with our team and I was like, how in the world is anybody on earth supposed to compete? Like if you don't have a tech team like us, like this is not easy. And I don't know, we weren't the first people with the idea, but we sat down and we were sitting on a couch in front of a whiteboard and we're like, what if we built something, because all of our funnels are similar, and we're like, what if we built something, because all of our funnels are similar, just 3 months each time. I said, what if we built something that would make this process easy, where you could say, all right, I'm gonna build a funnel. In this funnel I need a page like this. You click it and boom, those pages all pop out. You're like, okay, now I'm gonna design this page. You click a button and you're like, okay, I need a video here, I need a headline here, and you can just drag and drop and literally, and we've timed this before, where the process that took us 6 months, we rebuilt that whole funnel in ClickFunnels by myself without any tech people at all, because I'm not technical at all. It took me about an hour to rebuild it in ClickFunnels. And so it shaves off so much time and cost and resources. Like for me, I always tell people, like, even if I never sold anyone ClickFunnels, just the fact of how fast I can go to market with things now, we'll have an idea, we'll create the funnel that afternoon and launch it that night, and that speed of implementation has taken my companies, even outside of ClickFunnels, has almost 10x all those businesses just because of how fast we can get things out, and it's dropped our cost down to almost nothing because I don't have to have my $120,000 a year programmer anymore, my $60,000 a year designer, my web guy. Like all those people just became irrelevant because I can do it by myself.
Right, and it's easy to discount the value of doing that, and it's massive. And so not only is it drag and drop and fill in the blank for all of these pages, but it also handles all of your split testing. So you just set up the split test that you want to do. It automatically shows you the results. You pick the winner and you set up a new test. Also has a shopping cart, so you don't have to go out and set up a separate shopping cart to get a merchant account or anything like that. You can set up a Stripe account and literally 60 seconds integrate it with this, and you've got your merchant account taken care of. It has all of the upsell functionality, and then it even has built-in membership software if you're doing something like Society, right? This is a private membership-based business where people purchase access to it. That is built into their system as well. So if you want to make something similar to this, you don't have to go set up a private membership site, using Wishlist Member or a different service. It's all literally in one platform. So this is a really big deal that you guys have built, and you've got 18,000
we just
members
passed
now.
18,000 active members, and
Yeah.
you look at, it's funny, when we first started, there was some frictions. People have tried to create this in the past, and it's scary because it's like, is it possible? And we did, and it took a little while, and then now it's blown up. And I always tell people, like, all the entrepreneurs are moving their entire businesses over to us. It's not like a matter of, like, if I'm going to use ClickFunnels. Like, if you want to be in this business and sell things online, like, ClickFunnels is a platform to make it work. And so it's just been a ton of fun. And like I said, the cost for this funnel in the past, I think when we added up the cost between time, energy, everything, was like $30-something thousand in 3 months for us to build it. A ClickFunnels account starts at, you get a two-week free trial, but it's like $100 a month to get started, and like it does everything. Like some people tell me, like, that's a lot of money. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like
No,
that's
almost free.
that is
Yeah.
the most compared
Might
to
as well be
the
free
$30,000
compared to-
we spent 2 years ago to build the same thing. It's insane, and it's a gift I feel like for all entrepreneurs we're given in trying to help make this process simpler. Because my mission in life is, like, I want to help more entrepreneurs get their message and their vision and the thing that they have to change the world out to more people. And so if we can make that process simpler and take away the tech and the hurdles, that's how we all win.
Awesome. Well, Russell, this has been great, brother. Any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with everybody?
I think just the last thing I would say for all you guys is, so many times we get nervous about, like, it's like stepping up to the plate, right? And like, you got one shot to knock it out, and it's not that way. It's try something, test it out, spend $100 or $200, see if it works. If not, make some tweaks, make some tests, do some things like that. And for me,
throw your pen on the ground.
throw your pen when you're but it should become a fun thing. It's trial and error. But typically, for most funnels, like, I always tell people, the first one's going to fail. Just plan on it and then make some tweaks on it. And if you do 2 or 3 times, you making some tweaks, very rarely you're not now profitable. And when you're profitable, like, it's game over. Like Anthony with the biohacking book, like, now that funnel is profitable, he'll make at least $1 million this year because we're profitably acquiring customers. Like, that's every business's dream, and you can do it. It just takes a little bit of massaging and trying and testing. But if you focus on this part of your business, it's the key. I always tell people, like, the most important thing you can do to double your business this year is not create new products, new services. It's becoming obsessed with the marketing of that business, and that's what we're talking about here: is how to market, how to sell profitably. And if you can master that, it becomes really, really easy.
And where should people go? Just ClickFunnels.com?
Yeah, ClickFunnels.com. Get a 2-week trial there and just play with it. And most people, when they start playing with it, it becomes like a game. It's like, a lot of times you have membership sites, you see people don't log in that often. I think on average we have over 10,000 members who log in every single day. So like the majority of our members are logging every day, and they're always doing stuff in there because it's so much fun. It's like,
Well, it gets addicting when you set up a split test and you see that no matter what you do, it causes a change, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And then you get instant feedback in it, and it just becomes addicting. So
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Russell, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks for having me.
Hope you guys enjoyed this, and leave your comments below. We'd love to hear your feedback. And if you learned something, tell us what you learned. And if you loved it, we'd love to see those comments as well. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in our next destination. I'm not really sure where this adventure is going to take us, but I'm sure it'll be somewhere awesome. So thank you so much. Hey everybody, Mike here, and I hope that you enjoyed that free lesson and that it brought you some clarity to your journey as an entrepreneur. So that video is actually a lesson from a private mentoring group here at Self-Made Man called the Self-Made Man Society. Now, if you'd like my help and the truth when it comes to getting traffic, building your brand, protecting your assets, investing your profits, and really everything in between, then I'd highly recommend you check out the details below this video and join us. Our goal is simple. It's to end your confusion, and it's to give you clarity on what actually works and what doesn't. And it's to provide you with the leadership and the wisdom that you need to accomplish your goals. So if you want to fire your boss and pursue your business full time, if you want to learn how to invest like the rich and build real wealth, if you want to put yourself in a financial position where you can actually make a huge impact on the world around you, and if you want to create a legacy for yourself and your family, then this society was created just for you. So if you enjoyed this free lesson here today, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what you're going to learn as a part of this community. So scroll down to learn more, and then take advantage of a special offer just for new members that you will have to see to believe. So thanks for watching, and I so look forward to welcoming you as our newest member of the Self-Made Man Society.